So pretty compared to New York, all crowded and crap. I miss home. I'm gonna have to head back soon. See what's going on. It's been a while. All right, here we go, folks. We do a little speed wing. Boy, a little speed wing coming at you. We're gonna land down Lake Michigan. We're gonna land right down there in LSD, Lakeshore Drive. You feel that? You feel it? I'm gonna tell you this. About that. Coming in hot. Oh, we're gonna drop now considerably. May not make it back to the. Oh, okay. And I'm dead. And that's why we don't do that off the John Hancock building. Perfect example of why it's a very hard jump. Okay, we'll try. Give it another shot, shall we? Watch here. There we go. Reposition that boy back up to the old John Hancock. Let's use a mini wing this time, make it a little more realistic. And this is even extremely dangerous also. We're going to go with the mini wing this time. It's like a paraglider, but it has more responsiveness, and it doesn't really try to keep you up necessarily, but likes to keep you coming down very slowly. There's a paraglider, its purpose is to actually keep you up as long as you can stay up. Mini wing more or less is a rate of descension. Here we go. Whee! Oh man, is that cool? Oh yeah, this is much better. A lot more control, still very dangerous, but I have been getting better at this. Anyway, avid at driving a parachute, let me tell you. I'm a damn good parachute pilot. I cannot say that I'm 100%. Ooh, I clipped a parachute on that building. We recovered. I rolled it out. We're okay. And we're gonna make it, boys and girls. I clipped another wing on a building. But we made it. Thank you very much. We actually survived that one, folks. Thank you. Wow. But you can see that was without its wrist, I would have tore the parachute tip. Spleen died. I consider that a done deal. Let's have some fun. I'm going to go ahead and launch here, but what's great about this game is we can switch our vehicle to a ultralight and allowing us to motorize this experience. Personally, I'm a much bigger fan of the parachute ultralight because the trike, because I can fly it in real life, and I can't fly the cannot fly the hang glider that well. I've crashed one. It even scares me on the simulator. When I get on it, I'm a little shaky because I've actually crashed one. And I realized that I'm never going to be able to fly one. There's just no way. So I'm going to have to use the I'm going to have to go with the old with the trike. But basically, it's like a fixed wing kind of situation, but it's more of still a shoot. So I'm down with that. You just can't do the total fixed wing Bagalo principle. It's the opposite. It really kills me. Plus, I don't like the speed at which the glider section will change direction. In a scenario like this, trying to keep all control. Got your canopy above you here. Very easy. Throttles usually on your finger right here. So they put it. So you just boom, trigger. So give you more fan in the back. You give yourself fan, you throw it off. Just you want to pull down. It's natural to do that. If you do that, you stop. You crash. You die. This is what I think I'm buying. They sell them in Owensboro, Kentucky. Which is not too far from here, about 2 hours from Louisville. I'm thinking about going down there to actually look at purchasing my first trike. They're about $3,000. I have been waiting. I've been waiting. And I'm quite certain that this is how I want to die. So, you know what I mean? I don't want to die in a hospital bed, that's for sure. I'd much rather die paying paragliding. I'm certain of that. So I made that decision the other day, and I think, I'm going to show you a place I used to go fishing. Right down here's Montrose Harbor. This is where me and my boy Najee would go fishing when we were kids. Right over here. Not the best neighborhood anymore. They've changed it quite a bit. Looks like they're doing some work. Actually, mine first is down there. All the beachgoers. It must be summertime. This would be really relevant. This might be within months. It's like, wow. You guys are really keeping this up to date. Google Earth is absolutely amazing. Look at this, would you? Can you imagine years ago? See that pitch right there? A huge Hispanic population in Chicago. It's gigantic. Huge. Well, everywhere, I suppose, but a city with this much water makes it easy to do things, you know. Forget how big the city is to get over here. God, it's huge. I got a buddy named Renzo. He keeps his boat right over here. And his house, I'll show you this. It's right here. Right next to my cousin. Renzo Co's, right? It's his company. I'm not going to say his name. Say his company name. Awesome guy. Makes dolls. Makes dolls. Believe that. Yeah, makes dolls. Makes dolls. I can't see that. What does that say on the chat? Kind of dolls? I don't know. Well, Zoobles, what they're called. They're like, they're actually handmade dolls from Thailand. I know a lot about them. Actually, did this SEO for them. I have. What time is it there? It's almost the same time as here. That seems out. We're up there on the equator. Oh, I get it. It's a 12-hour difference. It's the exact opposite time it is here. That's what I thought. Yeah, so it's like your evening. I get it. No, I lived in a place very similar time-wise anyway. Are you from the States? Is that why? I can't read that. Oh, I can see it now. Hold on. Ohio, and then is that what part? Okay. Does your parent like work in diplomacy or something? Your mom work for the government? Your dad? Alright, well, I'm going to have to get off the DM here. It's messing my broadcast up. Yep. Cheers. Sorry about that, folks. Here's a third-person view of me on the glider. Isn't that cool? I do like glider sims for that reason. You kind of see what's happening there. You really can. You kind of see what you're doing when you're watching this film, folks. Let me show you what happens when you kind of like watching myself from this angle. This is really cool, actually. If I go up like this, pull it real hard. Let's get up a little higher before I get ready to pull this maneuver. Doggone, that looks like fun, doesn't it? Look at that. That's why I'm buying one right there, because it just looks like so much damn fun. And look at that, would you? That's me right now. That'll be me. That will be me. Trust me. The Chillberry will be doing that. I'm excited. Oh, I've got it. Watch this now. I can even do one of these. And Shasta. Van Hogan. I know. Watch. Oop. I'm watching myself from that angle. I didn't know you could do this actually. Watch this. I've actually figured this maneuver out, which I will never do in real life. Okay, so you get it rocking like that. Once you get it rocking, do one more shot. And then wait for it, let it rock, and then let off, and then just let it go. Build that speed up. Now you got it. Now once you build that speed up, and then can't be levels how you can feel it. Then you crank on it, and you let it go. You have to have that downward spin first in order to build it up all the way. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. You gotta keep going. I think I figured that one out. I can't remember. Oh yeah, you have to have downward glide to do that. These are all things I would never do once I get my real one. Okay, I'll show you how I'll fly my regular in real life. The difference between flying here and in the real world flight. Get the gauges. All my moves are micro movements, man. I'm not pulling on that thing that hard. That's only because I have no fear of dying whatsoever. I have no worry of dying. It's not about fear. It's not a consequence when you're in the metaverse. That's what makes it great. At the same time, you should always practice. If you're practicing to do the real thing, you should always try to fly like your consequences there, so that your practice is purposeful. Otherwise, today it's like a video game. I suggest getting cords at house. I try to do full immersion. I've got a saddle. I've got everything set up in here, guys. So if I were you, I'd try to do that. The only thing I'm lacking are my cords. So I'm going to get that fixed today. Okay, Montrose Harbor is coming up right here. It is. There's Montrose Harbor. Here's where we used to fish. Me and my buddy Notch. Minutes to get here. This used to be so dangerous back in the day, man. Right over here. So you walk out on this circular thing, right? See this right here? But there were no boats. Right? It was just a bunch of... There used to be boats here. It's where they filmed... actually, believe it or not, Belushi and Dan Aykroyd did this bit, or Bill Murray did this bit right here. And it was an outtake of Saturday Night Live. We used to go to that place where it was done and just mess around because it was cool. So this is it right here. This is the old Montrose. This is where me and Naj hang out and fish. We wouldn't do much fishing. A lot of talking. A lot of chilling. A lot of bullshitting. Telling stories. Telling stories that kids tell each other, right? A bunch of lies to each other. Boys do that anyway, I suppose. We don't really lie. We just kind of church up the truth. I saw my man. I beat the game. Who knows? I will do it. It's silly. Calm down. Okay. I'm slipping here. It was fun to grow up here. I'm not gonna lie. Some of it was. I definitely grew up in Chicago. No doubt about it. This place was home to me. Went down through years where my dad would take me and Greg a lot of times to go smelting, which is really weird fishing. And I'm going to tell you what I used to do after that. When I got older, we'd come down and ride this train right over to Central Station. And you could take that all the way down to the suburbs, which we could fly to right now, actually. You know what I'm going to do? Trip down memory lane here. Fly low though. It's the only way to go. It's the real Chicago. It's not those big buildings. The real Chicago is that massive sea of little buildings out there. And then some big ones that you see way out in the distance, which is there's big ones out there, I believe, that's where I used to live. Glendale Heights, Naperville, West Chicago, all the other big buildings way out in the distance there, you can barely see. That's how big Chicago is. Chicago right here is probably, well, I guess it's bigger than any city if you look at it that way. It's fucking huge. Bloody Notch lives out past those buildings. So way out there in that distance. My best friend from high school. It's odd, right? We grew up right over there. I'll show you here in just a second. We'll be right past my neighborhood. It needs to be a little further from the city. You could see the skyline of Chicago from my town, my suburb, but it was on a clear day. You know what I mean? It was mostly shitty or cloudy. There's the White Sox Stadium. That's the Cubs building, sorry. Right, you turn right. I said Sox first tonight. This is where I like, this is part of Chicago I love. Wrigleyville, right over here, is just awesome, man. This is where, like, pretty much my Chicago, that's over there, it's just like for tourists, but this is where I used to work here every summer, like right in through here. I painted all those houses, buildings, right with my dad. Yeah. You get older, it's like you have chapters of life, or some people don't, maybe. God, I just feel like I've been writing a book that I can't remember half the beginning of it anymore. Sometimes I do. Let's see if I'm right. I remember, things pretty much stay the same for the most part. I don't know, but it looks like to me, down there, that looks to me like Cubs colors. I don't know, what do you guys think? That's Cubs Stadium. I got no fucking problem telling you that now that I'm over top of it. Fuck yeah. I know, then you see those houses, they always got seats on them. Isn't that cool? Free ball game. That's Wrigley Field, the famous Wrigley Field. I've been there a lot. I used to go, went there in second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, first grade for field trips. It's customary for a Chicago kid back in the day. So yeah, here we go. I'm leaving Wrigley Field now, and I could have flown to work. Oh my god. I'm gonna fly home now. Look how close I live to Chicago. Driving takes fucking 3 hours, man, to get to the city from my place. Okay? It'll take me literally 10 minutes to fly there. And that's insane. That's how bad the traffic is in Chicago. We're on a flight over now is Wrigleyville. We're about to be out of Wrigleyville, but I'll show you right here. This street right here, coming up these buildings. Hold on 1 second. Gotta turn a little bit. Here. I painted. Wait a minute. Where's that Mexican? There's a restaurant. I know it's still in business. No way it ain't. There they are. See those buildings right there? They're in front of us. They all have like the two-tone. I painted those. Me and my brother and my dad's crew. All those buildings. Every one of them. We got a contract to do every one of those buildings. So we got all of those. I was here for 2 summers, man. Painting those buildings. It was so hot. Right there. See them all in the same color? And it's the same color we painted them. It can't be the same paint, but it's the same paint, it's the same color. Crazy, right? Really recovered that. Almost crashed. Anyway, so yeah, really pretty. We're already out of Wrigleyville. Wow. And we're moving fast. And when you don't have to drive these streets, in these traffic, get on this expressway, there's the L. The only elevated train, I think, in the United States. Very dangerous train to ride nowadays, to say. Just follow the L for a minute. It's fun just to go to Chicago to ride the L. It used to be. You'd have to go with someone you know nowadays. I wouldn't go and just go, hey, let's go ride the L. Unless you know someone from Chicago. Because you just look like tourists. It's not good. Chicago is a different place. People are friendly enough, for sure. Right. There's also just things you're supposed to know. The tourists are told to go on the L. Breathing. where it goes. We're in unsavory parts of the city now, as you can start to see. Many people just kind of living on the public rail just runs like that. It'd be crazy. The weirdest part is when you drive underneath the L. See all the streets underneath the L are weird. They got them poles. And if you're not from Chicago, you'll get a wreck because you're not used to the poles. And you're like, what lane am I in? If you're not used to it, trust me. I've seen it. It makes perfect sense to me because I've seen it all my life. But if you've never seen it, I can see how confusing. Yeah. Follow the L, you'll notice it doesn't really take us out of the city per se, but it does take quite a ways from the city for a train. I'll show you where it heads out to. It's like the other ones. It's still considered Chicago, like always. The end of the line from the L is basically central. Let me show you. It starts to turn into basically Central Station, and then what happens here is we head out to the suburbs. It's funny, I noticed to get better than I do this town where I live now. It's like so much smaller. It's where you grow up. It's funny, where you grow up is what you remember. You know, it's your home no matter what. I think, you know, I don't know. Put in the comment field if you agree with me. I think any place you live before you're 12, 13, 14, it's probably going to be home the rest of your life. Anyone else think that? Put it in there. Thank you. Oh, wow. Yeah, here we are. So yeah, this is how the L turns into the regular train, like I said. So, it's back up again. Get on the L. It's happy to be what it does. It's still an elevated train. And then it does go quite a distance. Look at this. There's the L right there. There's an actual train on it now. Moving and grooving. So if you can see here, it's starting to turn into a regular train. See that? There's no road underneath that one, but that train is no longer elevated. Okay, now, if you look down through here, this is a town called Berwyn. My first girlfriend lived here. If you look to the left, that factory there is supposed to be haunted. It's the old, used to make bikes. I can't remember the name of the company. Yeah, so they used to have a train kind of turn into a regular train. It's only really elevated downtown. People don't realize that though. They think it's elevated the whole way. It's elevated downtown. It's just a certain line of the train track you don't want to ride. Anyway. But you can tell the tracks to the L and regular trains. But here's the train there. So here's the L train yard. That's here for the train. The end of the line. What we call that. End of the line. Too many people over in the L train places. That's where all the L trains are. Right there. go. And yeah, that looks like my place there. It just serves as a very small sector of Chicago. It used to be the working class area. As we head over this way, you'll notice that there's a smaller group of buildings in every direction. And those represent four directions of the suburbs. So, right when we hit this next highway coming up, we're still in what we consider to be Chicago, even at below me Chicago, for sure. Like the New York boroughs would be to New York, these are neighborhoods in Chicago. Now as we hit this next little like highway, that denotes the suburban line. I just said suburban line. That's correct. For those who watch and laugh, have a good laugh on that suburban line. And you can tell too right away it's different. See how the buildings still look like Block and City right down there below me. Okay, see that? It's the yards. It'll change here in a second. As soon as that change happens, that's the border of DuPage County, Cook County. Just about there. We're in Cicero. We're right near Cicero Ave, somewhere like that. Out in my distance though, that's Bolingbrook, where I live on. That's an IKEA store right there, past on the way out to my house, and we're towards my house now. But this highway right here, we're looking at, it takes about 2 hours from where we're at to get to the city, and that's insane. That is insane, now that I'm flying over it. I cannot believe that. I used to be on this highway every morning. Summer's long here, sitting in traffic on this highway. That highway right there is 294. The Tri-State. It's horrible. I don't know why they call it that. A little lower though. It's just insane. As you look out this way, you start to notice some slightly bigger buildings. That's IKEA, like I said. That over there, get really close to. Closer. See those buildings right over this level. My old neighborhood's pretty close. There's the train. There's the fetch, found the train. Perfect. Now we just found it. Now I can head out to my house. It's that simple. So there's only so many trains. You find the train line, and you can find it. It's the great thing about Chicago is the trains go all the way out to every suburb. So you just have to make sure you're on the right train line. This is probably not it, but at least get me close, so I'll know which train line it is once I get closer. That's how we'll find our way to my house. You just take the train. I have a feeling this is not it. It doesn't split as much. It's got more lanes on it for quite some time. So this is it right here. I'm headed out towards Batavia. I'm going to take a left towards Lombard. So my brother's house is this way. This way. Cool. Yeah, so that's the train there that I would take. This one here, I would never take that train because I didn't live there. I don't even know where that goes. I think Batavia. I don't know. Either way, my train line always had at least 2 tracks, not 3. Maybe 4 rather. Or 3. That's right. 4. This is definitely it. I can tell by the highway. Here's where you cruise down. Yep, I know exactly where we're at. I was right. That's Cicero back there. Coming up on Naperville's way the fuck out, way out there. That's Naperville. Yeah, I'm gonna land at my buddy's old home house. Growing up. when you see something in the air, and then versus when you. Now we can do it. And then rock it together. Circle. Yeah, down. Some speed. Straight that wing down. Butterfield though. Here's how you do it. If you want to flip a trike, you have to let off the speed, start to do the decrease in altitude, and then speed up, pull. Wait, so it's a very quick maneuver. Look at that. It's very hard to do. And you really gotta now wait for it. Load that speed up, speed up, speed up, speed up, speed up. Wait till it's lock that down, and it's gotta kick. It's gotta grab and shoot. You'll see. It's almost like surfing when the board planes out or the boat. I surf kayak. The feeling that finally it's out. It's there we go. Now we're sort of following more attention. That's not gonna happen. Paragliders, you kind of tilt it forward a little bit like this. As you're flying, and you're kind of you can let it off. The chute bubbles out, so its natural position is about right there. I always want to know where that fixed wing is naturally, so you can always get a better idea where you're going. Go right in line with the train, it's right over here. Yep, I knew it. Crossing the train track. Going the wrong way there. Go away from the city. So it's 3 strips here.
prove that Earth VR has come a long way. That's amazing. That right there, I know this very well. I know exactly where we're at. This is IAG. Yep. They knock in this down. Right over there. There's really close. We're still seeing the big focus of the coastal northwest suburbs. That's that right over there. Western Plastics. It's my uncle's factory recently, a long time ago. Then he sold it. Again, when you're flying a fixed wing paraglider, you have to drop it altitude by turning, and drop by there's no rudder. Different. Pretty different. Always look over at your canopy to make sure it's not baffled or kinked. It's your canopy and still fly. You just don't realize that you're dragging over there. I've noticed that. Had a couple of problems. Here we go. And so it's not with this elongated turn. See, I'm starting to lose that altitude pretty quickly, pretty sharp. I'm going to come in pretty fast. Bring it in, and then make an S turn if you have to. If you don't feel like you're low enough yet, move with an S. Just draw an S. Okay. Wait for it.